Hello friends, in today's class we'll see about the next topic, that is data handling. Now what do you mean by data? Data is any information, say like the marks you have obtained in a class test or the runs scored by a batsman in an innings or in a test match. All these things are called as data. We can represent data in different ways. Now let us see one way, that is called the pictograph. What is pictograph? It is the pictorial representation of data. That is, with the help of pictures we represent data. Now let us see how we do that. Let us consider the following data of the number of apples sold during 1 year. January, February, March, April, June, May, June. Like that, they have given the number of apples sold in each of the months. Now, we can represent them by drawing pictures. Here, I have made the assumption that one apple represents the diagram. A picture of a single apple represents 10 apples and half an apple represents 5 apples. So, first in January, how many apples were sold? 10 apples were sold. So we can draw one apple, isn't it? One apple represents 10, isn't it? So we can draw one apple. In February, we have two apples because it is 20. So we have to draw two apples. So I represent two apples in February. Then it is March. Now how can I represent 15 in this diagram? I will draw one apple and a half apple. Okay, so that it will represent 15 apples. I hope you understand. Then I have 20 apples in April. So I can draw 2 apples. Okay. And once again, let us see what it is. In the month of May, how many apples I can draw? I have to draw half an apple. Okay. Because it is 15. 15 means 10 plus 5. So it is 15 apples. And in January, the number of apples are 10. In July, in June it is 10. So I represent it by one apple. So this is how we make pictorial representations of a data. I hope all of you understood this. Now draw an appropriate graph to represent this information. In your lower classes, you have learnt about bar graph, isn't it? So I am given the number of watches sold during July, August, September, October, November and December. Now how can I represent it using a bar graph? I will plot the watches on the vertical axis. I will have 500 as for me. I will make a scale before going into drawing the bar graph. I will make a scale that 1 unit is equal to 500 watches. So I will make here it is first unit as 500, 1000, 1500, 2000 and 2500. So first month is July. So what is it in July? In July the number of watches sold is 1000. So this is how I represent. In July I represent the number of watches. Then in August it is 1500. 1500 comes somewhere here. So I will represent in August it is 1500. Then in September also it is 1500. Okay. In October it is 2000. My 2000 is here. So I can represent it as 2000 in October. Then in November it is 2500. Okay. So I have it as 2500. Then in December it is 1500. So this is how I represent it. Represent the number of watches using a bar graph. So what do I have in the x-axis? I will have the months July, August, September, October, November and December, and here I have denoted the watches. This is how we represent data using a bar graph. I hope you would have understood this because you have done such graphs in your lower classes. The scale is an important one. Please don't forget to write the scale. Okay. Now we are given another topic. It is how to draw a double bar graph. That is, if the data, if you want to represent two things in a graph, you can draw a double graph. We have been given the children in school A, school B and school C. How many of them come by walking is 40. In school A and cycling is 45. In school B it is 55 in walking and 25 in cycling. In school C it is 15 walking and 35 cycling. We can represent this with number of students in my y-axis and school A, school B and school C in this horizontal axis. And I will assume the unit as 1 unit is equals to 5 students. So first I am given school A. So in school A, under walking, what do I have? 40 students come by walking. So from here, somewhere here is 40. So from here to here, I have the number of students who come by walking. I hope you get it. Yes, this is 30, this is 40. It's gone little above. Okay, the next is 45. So 45, I will draw it here. This is my 45. So this is 45. I hope you get it. The next is 55 in school B. They go by walking. Okay, so let me mark it here. It is 55 and 1 minute, let me draw this one. 55 and 25 by cycling. So my 25 comes here. So the 25 comes by cycling. Okay. The next one is for school C. 15 go by walking. So this is my 15. So this so many people go by walking and 35 people go by cycling. Now what I can do is I can make two, this thing, that the one which is shaded is cycling and the one that is not shaded is walking. Okay, so I make this assumption and I shade it. So in this way I can represent the students who go by cycling from the home to the school. Okay, I hope you understood this, how you draw this bar graph. So in this bar graph we can represent two data, that is walking as well as cycling of the students. I hope you understood this. Okay students, so that is all for this double bar graph, right? Now we'll go to the next topic. Now we learn in this how we organize data. What do you mean by organize them? That is, arrange them in a meaningful way. We have been given a group of students who are asked their favorite subjects. The results were as follows. Some students like one student like art, maths, science, English, what and all they have liked, they have listed it down. Another student likes maths, another likes arts, English, maths, English, like so on. Now we have to find out, we have to organize this data. How can we do it? We'll arrange the subjects in one column, then tally marks and then number of students. Okay. Now what do you mean by tally marks? Now let me first take arts. Arts comes here in this one time. Then it is math, it comes here. Then I have science. Then I have English. The next is another math. So one more tally mark for maths. Another arts. So one more. Then English. I draw a line against English. Once again it is maths. Then it is English. So I draw a tally mark against English. Then it is art, science. Then it is art. Then it is science. Again science. Then it is maths. Then it is art. Art it is fifth time. So I'll draw a line like this. If it is a fifth entry, you will have a diagonal line. Okay. then it is English. So English I have it once again. Once again I have an art. Once again it is science. Then it is maths. Now it is science and art. So what is the frequency? Under art there are 7, and under maths it is 5, and under science there are 6, and under English it is 4. So this is how we organize the data. Now looking at this data, we can tell that which subject students like the most. Which is a subject? Art is a subject students like the most. And which is a subject students like the least? English is a subject students like the least. So such kind of information we can get by looking at this data when we arrange them in an organized manner. Now this number of students is also called as the frequency. Frequency gives the number of students who like that particular subject. So you know now how to get the frequency given the data, and you would have also understood how we mark the tally marks. Okay. Now we have been asked to construct a frequency distribution table. This is called as grouping data. Now I have been given the weights of 20 students. The number is 40, 38, so on. Now we cannot write each and one every number and say how many time it comes. Instead of that, we can draw a class interval, that is between 30 to 35, 35 to 40. So between 30 to 35, 35 to 40, so on I have made the class intervals. Now let us mark the weights using the tally marks. The first one is 40. Now you will see that 40 appears in this class as well as in this class interval. But wherever the 40 comes as the lower class limit, that is here it comes as a lower class limit. This is the upper class. 45 is the upper class limit. Here 35 is the lower and 40 is the upper. So wherever 40 comes as the lower class limit, I will mark it as 1. Okay. Now 38. 38 comes in this class. It comes in between, isn't it? Between 35 and 40, 38 comes. So I mark it here. Then 33. 33 comes in this class. 48 it comes here. Then 60. Where will I mark my 60? In this class or in this class? In this class. I told you, because it is the lower limit. We mark it wherever it is the lower limit, not here. So 60 comes here. Then it is 53. Then 31. 46. 46 comes here. 34. 36. 49. 41. 55. 55 comes here. 49. 49 comes here. 65. 65 comes here. 42. 42 comes here. 44. 44 comes here. 47. So here this is 47. 38. 38 comes here. 39. 39 also comes here. Okay. So this is how much? 3, 4, 4, 5, 1, 1, 1, 1. So we have 3 plus 4 is 7, 11. 11 plus 5 is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So for 20 students, I have recorded the frequency or the weight distribution by giving the class intervals. What were the class intervals? 30 to 35, 35 to 40, so on. I hope you understood how we did this. And whenever we get values like 40, 40 comes in this class as well as in this class. So it comes in this class as well as in this class. So whenever it is the lower limit, in that class we will mark 40. I hope you understood this. Thank you, friends.